Hi, we're here today to talk multiple offers, and we have 5 ways where you can win in a multiple offer situation, even if you're not a cash buyer. So a lot of buyers today, especially in certain neighborhoods and at certain price points, end up in multiple offer situations, also known as bidding wars, where there's several buyers vying for the same property. What are some things that you can do to make sure your offer stands out from the pack and that you win that coveted property? So, one caveat. The advice in this video is very strategic, and while it's worked for me personally and for several of my clients, it's really key for you to discuss this with your particular agent who knows your risk tolerance and your situation. Because while I am an attorney and a broker, I'm not your attorney or your broker. So, with that being said, let's go on to strategy number 1. Obviously, price is a huge consideration, and for some sellers, admittedly, it's the only consideration. So you need to decide with your agent what you're going to offer for any particular property, especially in a multiple offer situation where you may not get a third or fourth chance to do counter offers and back and forth. That said, it's also really important to remember that at a certain price point, the house may not appraise, and a seller may get nervous if you have an appraisal contingency. So definitely when strategizing with your agent on price, make sure you consider that factor. Number 2, shorten your inspection period considerably. Notice I didn't say remove your inspection contingency. I've had clients win many times in multiple offers, and I've never had to go without an inspection contingency. The inspection contingency protects the buyer by letting them know everything they're getting into. However, shortening it so you have a reasonable period of time to do your inspections makes the seller comfortable that once you do your inspections in a condensed time frame, you'll be ready to move forward with the purchase sooner. 3, the buyer love letter. I have had buyers who were not the highest offer, in some cases, write a love letter to the seller, letting them know how much they loved the house and why, telling a little bit about themselves, and it's helping get their offer nudged to the top. So, in certain cases, especially if it's not a new construction or development type thing, or the seller's very attached to the house, it sometimes helps to stand out if your offer is very similar to other offers, explaining why you love the property so much. However, carefully craft this with your agent, because there are some legalities with a buyer love letter and you want to make sure you're on the right side of the law. 4, if at all possible, have your lender fully underwrite you, subject only to finding the right property and opening up escrow. This can put the ball back into your court in terms of competing against a cash buyer, because now you don't have to worry about a loan contingency. It gives you comfort. You know that you'll be approved for the loan. And lastly, it can expedite the closing period because the lender doesn't have to do all of the documentation because you've already done it. 5, and this is a big one. So again, tread lightly and go over this in detail with your agent. You may want to remove your appraisal contingency. This is going to give the seller comfort as the offering price gets higher and higher, that they don't have to worry about an appraiser coming in and now saying that you need to renegotiate the deal. That said, you need to have a higher risk tolerance for this, and you also need to make sure that you have enough cash to make up the difference between what the property appraises for and what your lender is willing to lend you, should it not appraise at the same value that you and the seller found. These are just a couple strategies that have helped me and my clients win in multiple offers when we were not all cash buyers, but please feel free to reach out at any time if you want to discuss further.